Okay, so let's look at some of the other dinosaurs that we can see from the Cretaceous. One sauropod that we see from the Cretaceous is Argentinosaurus. And as you can see, Argentinosaurus is obviously not from Laurentia, it's from South America. But it's actually one of the only sauropods that we have that represent this time. We don't find any sauropods from North America at all in the Cretaceous. So we have to go down south. As you can see, Argentinosaurus is definitely one of the largest sauropods. He's definitely quite a big guy. Now let's take a look at some ceratopsians. We're moving into question 47. Ceratopsian means horned face, because all of these dinosaurs we're going to see here have horns on their face. For example, right here is Triceratops, the one everybody knows, right? It's got 1, 2, 3 horns, right, on its face. Early ceratopsians were definitely small bipedal dinosaurs, and as we move through the Jurassic and into the Cretaceous, they become much larger and definitely quadrupedal. And as you can see, they are known not only for their horns, but for having this really large frill on their neck, and that frill probably serves several purposes. Both the frills, 47B, the frill and the horn definitely serves a protective purpose. But the frill is also probably there for thermoregulation as well, right there as a nice big solar panel, essentially, to collect all of the sun. What is pretty cool is we get a lot of skin impressions and lots of teeth, right, from these ceratopsians, so they're pretty cool. So let's take a look at some of these. Obviously, the first one, right, which one has 3 horns from the Cretaceous is Triceratops, right? That is definitely the one everybody knows and is pretty common. One that many of you may not know that is pretty cool is Pentaceratops. And Pentaceratops means 5-horned face because it's got it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horns up there. But it also has a massive head. I mean, this head is about 10 to 12 feet high. This is a very, very big neck. And what always impresses me is if you think about the neck muscles, right, that were required there to hold this head up, to me it's really, really quite impressive. This guy is my favorite. This is Styracosaurus. It means spiked lizard because you can see all of the horns there on its head. It lived in the mid to late Cretaceous. It had 6 horns, right, 6 larger horns, many smaller horns on its face, on its head as well. This dinosaur is mostly known from Canada. So if you were to go up into Canada, you would primarily find this one there. We don't find this one in the United States too often, but it's pretty cool, I must say. Moving into question 48, this group of ceratopsians is definitely well known for being kind of like a giant armored tank. And these are the ankylosaurs. So as you can see here from its skeleton, it's got a normal skeleton, but it's also got all this accessory bones right all over it, kind of there for protection. You can see it's got a really, really thick, big head right for protection as well, and it has the bony club on its tail. Here's the bony club. And what's pretty cool about it is if you look here, you can see all these tendons running down here that have turned to bone. Just because it is such a heavy tail that it's really required to have some accessory bone there to help hold this up. Now there's many different types of ankylosaurs, but the most common one that you guys know is probably Ankylosaurus. Then we move to Iguanodon. We're moving into our ornithischians, right? So this is our ornithopods. The first ornithischian that was ever discovered, the first dinosaur actually ever discovered, was Iguanodon, moving into question 49. And Iguanodon was discovered by a woman, woohoo, so that's good. But what was found originally was this thumb spike. Originally they thought it was a tooth and they thought it was a horn. Now we know that it's actually a thumb spike. So what's really cool about ornithopods is, remember, these guys can chew, right? They actually have the ability to chew, so it makes them very, very unique. Then we move into Pachycephalosaurus, which Pachycephalosaurus is one everybody loves because, right, it's got this big old dome on its head, and it's commonly thought that these dinosaurs would butt heads with each other, right, run into each other at full speed and smash heads. However, we know that that's actually probably not the case. They were probably butting and ramming into each other, but they were probably not running full speed. Because remember, these guys have really small brains, and if they were running at each other at full speed, the bone wouldn't be able to take it, and it would also definitely damage their brain as well. Then our last one is Parasaurolophus. And Parasaurolophus is pretty cool because it has this really big, long extension on its skull. This is a duck-billed dinosaur. And what's really cool about this extension is the extension, and I think you can see it pretty clearly in this picture, is part of the nasal cavity, part of the nose, right? You can see the nose right there on it. And the nasal cavity actually extends all the way through here. So what this dinosaur is doing is it's being able to breathe in and breathe out forcefully and actually make a noise, right, by breathing in and out through that passage. So without a doubt, we know that this dinosaur was actually being vocal. Now, we know all the other dinosaurs were probably being vocal as well, but we don't have any direct evidence of it. Here we have direct, concrete evidence that this is a very vocal dinosaur. And then lastly, let's cover our last very, very large flying reptile, a pterosaur, question 50. This is Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus, by far, had the largest wingspan of any animal that has ever existed. Quetzalcoatlus has a wingspan of 50 feet, which is, you know, pretty impressive, if that gives you a good idea. If you ever find yourself in Austin, you can go to the university there and go into their museum and see this specimen. This is hanging up there, and it pretty much takes up the whole ceiling in that wing of the dinosaur room. So this is a pretty impressive flying reptile, and I'm quite glad that it's not around any longer.